everyone. This is my persuasive speech for my communications class. Today we have 6 members in the audience. We have my mother and my brother up top. We have my twin sister down at the bottom. We have my friend Carrie and her dad Teddy. And then behind the camera we have my husband. So this is going to be a persuasive speech about the price of a 4-year college compared to the price of a 2-year college. I have given you guys an aid to look at. This is a review of my main points, along with a clincher statement to close us out, and some pretty pictures we have there, a money symbol and a graduation cap. Have you guys ever wondered or been worried that you would not be able to attend a 4-year college due to the cost of each year individually, as well as the time that it would take to complete it, but you wanted to obtain a bachelor's degree because society tells you that that is what you need to succeed? Well, today I'm going to share with you something that is not advertised, especially not from colleges, about how you can obtain a bachelor's degree, not in 4 years, but in 2 to 3 years. So the thesis for this is that, like I just stated, you do not need to complete the full 4 years. In my opinion, it is just a money scandal. You can do it for much cheaper and much less stress, much less burden, all of that. I am a credible speaker on this topic because I am a college student myself, 4th year, and I have had to take out student loans before, so I know the burden that the price of a 4-year college can put on a student. Both before, during, and after you graduate. So the 3 main ideas that we will be discussing in this speech are going to be the cost of a 4-year compared to a 2-year, including tuition and fees, room and board, meal plans, class fees, everything like that. The second main point that we will be discussing is the excess additional classes that are required that have no relation to your degree or field of study. And how that cost is going to affect students at a 4-year compared to a 2-year college as well. And then the third main point that we're going to have is going to be the expenses that have negatively impacted students years after attending college, the burden that they have from things such as student loans after they have already graduated and they are out in society trying to get a real job with their major. So now that I have reviewed the main points of this speech, I'm going to get started and transition us into our first main point, which is the price of a standard 4-year college and that it's too expensive. It has many excess fees compared to the price of a 2-year college. So a 4-year college on average, this is an in-state college, costs about $35,381 per year. That is just for tuition and most of the time room and board. That does not cover any fees, say science classes, you have lab fees. That does not cover your textbooks, either rentals, buying, anything. And some classes do require you to buy the textbook from the school bookstore, which is much more expensive than other areas in which you can buy them. Most students of a 4-year college also have to pay for their own supplies, living expenses, sometimes transportation if, you know, in the case due to cost, they can't afford to live on campus, their own meal plan, which is thousands of dollars in itself, and this is only per year. You know, for a 4-year college, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars. The cost of a 2-year college, however, is significantly lower. It's much less expensive, and a variety of more things are included in that total price. Whereas we stated in a 4-year college, it's just tuition and room and board. Books are not covered, supplies are not covered, transportation, stuff like that. In a 2-year college, however, they have programs such as work study where you can complete work, like work in a bookstore or work in a cafe or something like that, the library even, and you can earn money towards your books and sometimes even your tuition. So, a study shows from the annual education report that the annual tuition for a 2-year college is only $3,621 per year. As you can see, that is significantly less than a 4-year, and this covers tuition and extra fees that are applied as well as work study for books. A large number of 2-year colleges provide books already, or they have programs such as work study, which I mentioned, which can be applied to the price of books. So as you can see from our main point, a two-year college is significantly less expensive and much less stressful on students. So now that we've gone over our main point, we're going to transition to our second point, which is the excess additional required classes. So when you go to college, most of the time you have your degree requirements, and then you have other courses that are required that have nothing to do with your degree. This could be a gym class, this could be a sociology class, this could be an art class, a history class, whatever it may be. Most of the time, students have already been required to take those classes in high school, and 4 state colleges just require them in order to obtain your 4-year bachelor's degree, which in my opinion you do not need if they have no relation to your major or your field of study. There's no reason why we should have to pay to take these courses. So if those electives and extra required courses do not pertain to their degree, they're pointless. Why are we spending money on them? So these excess courses are simply just wasting students' money as well as their time. Joy Cromwell writes that without excess courses, students can successfully complete a 4-year degree in only 2 years. However, she has done significant research on this topic as well, as she was a college student and struggled with loans and stuff like that, student aid, financial aid, everything. No college is going to advertise that you can finish in 2 years. However, if you take out those additional courses, the PE, the art, the history, the sociology, everything that I said that doesn't relate to your major, that saves you thousands of dollars as is, and you can absolutely complete all of your required courses for your major, your bachelor's degree, within those 2 years if you just take out those extra courses. Along with Joy Cromwell, we have Jill Barchet, who states in an online forum that the average student takes an estimated 27 extra courses. That is close to 5.5 extra semesters, which is the extra 2 years for the 4-year college, which just to recap, proves that you do not need the full 4 years. It's mostly just those extra classes that are not related to your major, and this just causes students burden and extra costs that they don't usually think about when deciding colleges and things like that. So now that we've reviewed how extra courses can burden students with money and a waste of time when they could be out getting their jobs, we're going to transition into our main point, our third main point, which is how the expenses of a 4-year college have burdened students and even kept some students from attending, specifically low and even some middle class students. As I stated before, even for a 4-year in-state tuition, it's still roughly $35,000 per year, and that is a lot, especially for families that have more than one child. The need to take out student loans it comes with insanely high interest rates. The University of the People have stated that a large majority of students in today's society have had to take out student loans in order to afford college, which is very true. Like I said, I myself have had to take out student loans, and pretty much everybody else who I have gone to college with has also had to take out student loans. These loans will burden students for years after their graduation. The University of the People has done a survey, and most people are going to be paying for their student loans. They're going to be paying them off well into their career. So by the time they're already set into their career, they're going to be burdened with putting that money towards their student loans, and that's not including the extremely high interest rates that come along with that. So low and even moderate income families have been unable to afford the cost of college, even if their students are straight A's. There are scholarships and things like that, but they are not going to cover the full cost of college. And most of the time, there's a limited amount of that scholarship money. So a large portion of college students don't get the grant or the scholarship. It's given to other people. The programs that are offered to students through universities, they do not lower the cost of tuition. They just prolong the payment. So most 4-year colleges, if you're unable to take out a loan, they'll give you an option, a different option to repay it. This is not stopping the payment. This is not lowering the tuition. This is just prolonging it, which causes students more stress in the long run. So now that I have told you about the issues surrounding colleges in today's society, specifically the cost, I'm going to review what we have just discussed. So we have just discussed the cost of a 4-year college compared to a 2-year and how much more is included in a 2-year. We have discussed the excess additional classes that are required by most four-year universities that have no relation to a student's major or field of study, and how this is just wasting excess time and money. And then we have discussed how the expenses of a four-year college have negatively impacted students from years after they have graduated and gotten their degree, even when they have gone out into society and have a well-paying job. So the fact of the matter is, studies support the fact that college can be completed in 2 years as opposed to 4. This not only saves college students valuable time in which they could be beginning their careers, but it also saves them, as well as their families, thousands of dollars, which means they would not need to take out student loans and tons of debt, and they would eventually have to struggle to pay it back. So in reality, it can be done. Currently, it just isn't. That is all that I have for you today. I hope that my presentational aid helped. And I would love to take, can I see everybody else? The last 3 people, Gracie? Yes. Okay. So thank you all for your time.